Let's start off with introduction. If you're reading this book or watching this video, then you want to know more about virtual currencies, perhaps because you want to know how your business can take advantage of this new technology, or because you want to understand the wider financial implications of cryptocurrencies and other blockchain-based payments. If you are under the impression that Bitcoin is a niche payment mechanism, used primarily for ransomware, it may surprise you, to learn that in the 10 years of its existence, this original cryptocurrency has become so mainstream that you can actually pay your taxes with it or include it in your pension in some countries. Buy it, buy a, buy it from a ticket machine, at the Swiss railway station, or buy coffee with it. So banks and financial institutions are investigating the use of Bitcoin's underlying blockchain technology to develop new asset classes as well as introduce streamlining and greater efficiency in their processes. Meanwhile, tech behemoths such as Facebook are introducing their own virtual currencies, while governments around the world are vying to be the first one to introduce a truly effective national blockchain-based digital currency. With cryptocurrencies and other forms of digital money moving firmly into the mainstream, it has become more and more, important for individuals in all walks of life to understand the revolution that is currently taking place in payments and in economics. This book will help you understand why the current wave of virtual currencies is beginning to gain traction when similar innovations that were launched decades ago died a quick death. It will also demonstrate why those who claim that it is a fad will be proved very wrong indeed, as this revolution in payments changes everything about the way we live, transact with each other. So, blockchain-based money also poses new challenges for individuals, corporations, and governments, such as the ability of individuals to choose methods of payments other than national currencies such as pound, euro, yen, yuan, or dollar. And the extra powers that companies such as Facebook will gain if they can become, the issuers of type of a virtual currency. And all this reminds us is that the most notable feature of the digital currency revolution over the last 10 years has been the pace of change. Cryptocurrency years are like dog years. And the eye-watering speed of innovation in this sector means that ideas that sounded new 18 months ago have been quickly discarded in favor of new theories. Small startups with their flexibility and fail-fast approach have been well placed to take advantage of these exciting new technologies, because larger businesses tend to have more layers of management, shareholders to keep happy, and a greater desire to work with rather than challenge. In this book or in this video, you will be introduced to concepts such as tokenization, the difference between private and public blockchains, and some of the financial use case for blockchains that do not explicitly have a currency attached to them. People tend to talk about blockchain or cryptocurrency as though it's some kind of magic monolithic entity, but in fact, these terms encompass a whole lot of overlapping innovations that share certain attributes. This book focuses mainly on digital currencies and payments rather than the general application of blockchains for uses such as supply chains or voting. Payments are important because the internet has changed the way people pay for goods and services, and the fintech sector has become one of the most exciting and profitable areas of business innovation in the world. Besides, it will take a book many times the size of this one, or a video the size of this one, to cover the many different areas in which people and businesses are innovating with the help of blockchain technology. If you are a programmer or IT professional who wants to take a deep dive into the nuts and bolts of how Bitcoin actually works, then this is probably not the book for you. People who are interested in Austrian economics and why Bitcoin works as a hard money, will not read a book better than The Bitcoin Standard by Saifedean Amos. And Mastering Bitcoin by Andres Antonopoulos is in league of its own for readers who want to understand at a deeper technical level how the Bitcoin network functions. Neither will this book teach you, trade cryptocurrencies or lure you into buying the latest crypto token with a fancy name and the promise of becoming rich. If that is what you want to do, then that is fine. This book should help you see through some of the wilder claims made by some token startups and help you focus on the things that matter. However, for many people, the ideas behind this technology are the exciting part. I hope I can help you understand why ideas such as decentralization and tokenization are so important and fundamentally different from our current systems, and you will, I hope, gain an understanding of the potential impacts, many beneficials, other perhaps less so, for individuals, businesses, and indeed society itself that may come about with the adoption of these new technologies. Okay, number one, what is money? Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin are a medium of exchange that is, secured by cryptography. Medium of exchange is simply a fancy way of saying money. So before we can understand what cryptocurrencies are and how they are used in business and in our daily lives, we need to think about what money is at its deepest philosophical level. This may seem completely ridiculous thing to say. We use money every day. As individuals, we store it in our bank accounts. We give corporations money in exchange for food, shelter, clothing, and services. And we pass it around, amongst ourselves as a gifts or loans. Businesses exchange billions of dollars worth of money every day. But what is it really? Money is an abstraction of reality, a manifestation of the value of a physical item or unit of labor that is represented by something that does not have to have intrinsic value. You cannot eat a pound coin or a dollar bill. It will not keep you warm or give you shelter, but you are able to exchange it for food, warmth, and shelter. In the 21st century, we are so used to this abstraction that even an animal can begin, to grasp the idea. One of my favorite YouTube videos features a dog in Colombia who had been adopted by a university. Over time, he watched the student go into the campus cafe and hand over notes in exchange for food. One day, the cafe owner was amazed when the dog trotted in, having collected a large leaf and presented it, expecting a snack. Of course, he was rewarded with a treat and has continued to pay for his food with leaves. We might chuckle at this cute behavior, but the dog is behaving no differently from our ancestors. Over millennia, many different things have been used to store the fruits of our labor, from giant boulders to shells, beads, banknotes, and coins. And finally, the digital representation of money that we use today. When we tap our debit or credit card on a contactless point of sale machine, we are performing exactly the same function as someone in 1000 BC who handed over a rare cowrie shell in exchange for a grain and produce to feed his family. Now let's talk about the first forms of money. The concept of money has been around for so long that it is difficult to imagine what a money-free society would look like. If you cannot buy the products that you need to grow, make, catch, and process every single thing you need, or find someone who happens to want something you have that you can swap it for something you want, and you need to grow, make, catch, and process what you need exactly when you need it. As many things are perishable and cannot be stored indefinitely. Even in the simplest hunter-gatherers or early agrarian economy, one person or one family could not produce every single thing that they need. One person might be fast and a particularly good hunter, while another might happen to have discovered a particularly productive source of wild fruits. As far as we know, the earliest human societies survived by sharing some food in some informal sense. Some academics contend that as humans evolved into a less nomadic lifestyle and settled into an agrarian way of life, this informal sharing eventually evolved into a barter structure where individuals would swap plants and livestock with some, notion of equivalent value. We know that people were using such barter mechanisms as far back as 9000 BC, but such an economy would have been unwieldy and inconvenient. Cattle are not easily divisible, at least while they are alive, and without some complicated tables to equate heads of cauliflowers against chicken feet or bushels of barley, keeping track of who you owed what to whom would have been impossible. It is more likely that instead of evolving as a unit for measuring, the utility and hence the value of bartered goods, money developed as a medium for saving the value of one's labor so it could be accessed at a future date. A way of transferring value through time. If someone owes you something, this IOU is a form of savings for the future, or of insuring yourself against shortages or ill fortune. You work now to grow or collect food, and by exchanging some of it, you will also have food in the future. It is not overstating the importance of money to say that without it, we would still be living in small communities, forced to grow and produce everything we needed. Metal has been a popular choice for currency for thousands of years, as it is one of the most durable substances. As far back as 5000 BC, small metal objects were exchanged for agricultural produce, but it was not until around 1000 BC in China that this turned into a formal tradition. This so-called tool money or spade money is particularly interesting as it appears to represent the link between barter and symbolic money. Now, in the next video, we will discuss more on about money and its deepest roots.